I'll show you in this video the difference between any, unknown, and never. So let's get started with any. Any is used to disable TypeScript type checking, and we can assign any value in a variable marked as any. For example, here I have John. Its type is any, and it stores this object, and a variable marked as any can get a new value, so we can reassign a new value, for example a value type of string. So we can do something like that. And now if we're going to type check our project, as you can see, there is no errors. When you use any, you need to be careful. You should know what you're doing. For example, assume that I make a mistake here. For example, I called John like that. If I run the type check of my project, as you can see, there is no errors. But if I run my project, as you can see, I have an error indicate that John is not a function. Basically, it is used during migration from JS to TS, and also to type all legacy libs that hard to type. But anyway, you need to avoid it as much as possible. And now take a look with a noun. A noun is like any, you can assign anything, but you can do a new version with a variable unless doing narrowing or assertion. Let me show you. First, let's close this terminal. Here, assume we have a variable called age. His type is a noun and it contains 20 as value. And now let's parse age into integer. So let's call parse int, and let's take age as parameters. And as you can see, we have an error here. The error tells that argument type of a noun is not assignable to a parameters of type string because parse int takes string as input. So based with a noun rules, we need to narrow or assert age to be string to operate with it. And here let's narrow age to string. And as you can see here, there is no error anymore because age is already string instead of this if clause. And that's the difference between a noun and any. If I show you the case, we use any here. As you can see, parse it, there is no error anymore because with any you could operate directly with the variable. Anyway, when to use a noun, we use a noun when you accept data with a certain type, but you want to maintain type safety and doing validation before use. For example, like JSON data or error handling, etc. And now let's take a look with never. What is never? Never represents a type of value that never occur. Let me show you. For example, here we have a type shape, and we have two kind of shape, circle and square. And below, this is a function to get shape area. And as you can see, circle shape is already handled here, shape square handled here. And here, if you take a look, the type of shape, as you can see, it's a never. Why? Because circle and square is already handled, so your code never reached this part. Now let me show you a useful things when we work with a union type like this by using never. But before that, you need to know that we cannot assign a value to a variable with type never. For example, if I have a variable a, type it never, we cannot assign a value like hello. And also, for example, variable b, we cannot assign 1, 2, 3, for example. We cannot do this. And now, what if I want to ensure that area function handle all kind of shape exhaustively? For example, if I had another kind here, kind of rectangle, for example, and in the else block, let's create a new variable. Let's call it exhaustive and type it with never and hit take shape as value, and let's return exhaustive. If we take a look with this error, we have this kind of error. The type kind rectangle is not assignable to the type never. You see the benefit here. He tells me directly the shape I need to handle, and now let's handle it by adding another else block for it. And now the error disappears. Another tips of the usage of never. For example, what if we want a function that throws an errors, and when we call this function, the next instruction should be reachable. To do that, we need to use never. For example, here I have a function called panic. Actually, when I call panic, console.log still reachable. But here, if I put never as a return type of panic, if we take a look below, you can see that console log is a reachable code. So yeah, that's it. There are the difference between any, unknown, and never. I hope this video is helpful for you, and I say see you in the next video. Ciao.